Okay, lesson 12. We are continuing. This is our last week with unit rate. We are computing unit rates associated with ratios of fractions to solve real-world and mathematical problems using graphs to compare relationships. Before we move forward, we are going to do a quick review of how we know tables, graphs, and equations are proportional relationships. I would write this down. I have it for you in a anchor chart, and also I took a picture and then I posted it on the screen. So proportional relationships. When I have a table, I know that it is proportional if the unit rate is the same all the way through the table. What comes with our table initially is just our x and our y. We have to add a third column to it and find the unit rate all the way down. So you'll notice that I made a table and then I added a blue column. So I kind of color coded. And that blue column is my y over my x. And it has 3 all the way down. So the unit rate is the same, making it proportional. For graphs, it has to have these two things for it to be proportional. It can't just be one or the other. So if your graph is a straight line, but it does not go through the origin, then it's still not proportional. It has to have a straight line and pass through 0, 0 for it to be proportional. Because I'm having some people turn in classwork assignments from today, and they're telling me it's proportional because it has a straight line and it doesn't go through 0, 0. It has to be both. And last but not least, equations. For it to be proportional, it has to be in the y equals kx format. I put some examples. Y equals kx. Y equals 1.2x. Y equals 1/3 x. And y equals x over 3. I would write these down because you never know which of these forms you're going to be seeing them in. I've put in a total of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need one more. They have been. I think they're going to have to get some more because I think all the ones that we had in-house already are assigned to a student. I don't know if any of those are assigned to any of the ones that I already put in, because for some of them I've put in already multiple because I still haven't got one. you can't see something and you need me to read it to you, then let me know. Because I know it gets a little bit blurry when you take the picture and then you put it up on the screen. And then if at some point you need to look back on it, I'll probably put it up there next to it so it's not like on top. And this anchor chart is also, apart from in the classroom, it's also going to get moved into our anchor chart button. So you can find it in there. We good? Okay. So let's graph more than one relationship on the same grid. So race to the bumper cars. Yesterday we talked about Tyler's walk. So we're kind of going to be coming back to something similar like that today. So in here, we're going to try and do as much you work today as possible. So I'm going to do the first one to show you what I'm looking for, and then we'll go from there. So use each description to complete the table representing the person's journey. A, Diego left the ticket booth at the same time as Tyler. Diego jogged ahead at a steady pace and reached the bumper cars in 30 seconds. Lynn left the ticket booth at the same time as Tyler. She ran at a steady pace and arrived at the bumper cars in 20 seconds. May left the booth 10 seconds later than Tyler. Her steady jog enables her to catch up with Tyler just as he arrived at the bumper cars. Okay, so I'm not asking you to choose one of those, A, B, or C. Yeah, for some reason, I think the internet is having some issues, so we're going to give it a second and then we'll refresh, okay? I'm not asking you to choose A, B, or C. What I'm asking you to do is to fill out these tables. So A represents this first table, B represents the second table, and C represents the third table. So we know that when we label our tables, we have X and Y, X and Y, X and Y. So we're going to do the first table together. How can I find my unit rate? So like right now it has some information, but I need to find the rest. How can I find my unit rate? And remember, you guys are going to have to do this on your own tomorrow. So let's think about it. What do I normally do to find my unit rate? I do what by what? Messiah, the anchor chart button is under ratios and proportions. What do we remember? What do I normally do to find my unit rate? So I multiply, divide, add, subtract. You should have it in your notes because we put it in there last week. R equals what? Y over X. So I have to divide Y over X to find my unit rate. Now I have one row with all the information that I need. I'm going to use that row to find my unit rate. And I can do that for each of those tables. So I'm going to take 50, which is my Y, divided by 30 to find my unit rate. At this point, you should have your calculator buttons popped up on your screen. If you don't, then you need to remember to do that when you come in. What is 50 divided by 30? Say that one more time. 1.6. So I think it's 1. 1.6666, so we're going to round it to 1.67. So our unit rate, remember our unit rate is any number to 1. So that's going to be put right here. 1 to 1.67. Then, remembering back, I know that to fill out my table from left to right, I'm doing what? Guys, we got to remember everything, not just from this week. We are multiplying from left to right. And from right to left, we are dividing. So now I'm going to take that unit rate, 1.67 times 15. So 15 times 1.67 is going to give me 25.05. So that's my next number, 25.05. And then 0 times any number is what? Is what? Is 0. 0 times any number is 0. So that's your first table. You guys are going to solve for your second and third table. Try refreshing. It might also be that I have like a gazillion windows open. Get it refreshed. So everybody at home, you're working on tables 2 and 3. Same way we just did the first one. I'm seeing one here and it looks good. I took names off. I see some blank ones. Those of you with blank ones, let's go. I don't know who this one is, but we got to check that number. Make sure 50 divided by 20 is not 0.4. This one looks good. I have some that are looking really good, and I have some that are still blank. So let's go. Okay, make sure those of you that I see with 0.4s that you're dividing y divided by x, not backwards. Once you're done, yes, please submit. Not sure what happened here. Morelli, there needs to be more than enter your text here on your screen. OCL, same thing. There needs to be work on that screen. Ymir, that looks good. I need the rest of those two tables filled out, not just the unit rate, but both of your unit rates are correct. Masai, that looks fantastic. Timerial, check your unit rate for your third table. Everything's correct, except I think you put in the wrong unit rate by mistake. Alex, it looks good. Laura, make sure the unit rate's in the right place. Marcos, make sure that from right to left, you're dividing, not multiplying. Natalie, fix that unit rate in that second table, but the rest of the table looks good. Christopher, your unit rates are correct. Check the rest of your numbers. OCL, it still looks blank. Jasmine, move your numbers down for me, please. Wilfredo, your unit rates look good. Keep going. Luis, I think you put the 10 in the wrong place. Diego, yours looks good. Luis, that looks good. Okay. Okay, so we said from left to right, it was multiplication, and from right to left, it was division. So we use what we had, r equals y divided by x, to find our unit rate. 50 divided by 20 was what, Diego? It's on your screen. You edit my answer so you can see it. 2.5. 2.5, good. And we put that 2.5 in there. So reminder for those of us that forgot, we're going from right to left, divide. So then I would have taken 25 divided by 2.5, which gave me what? Jasmine? 10. And then I got a 0 up here. And then for my last one, 50 divided by 40 gave me what? 1.25. Perfect. 1.25. Then I did 25 divided by 1.25, and that gave me 20. And then my 0 up here. So remember, because tomorrow you'll have to fill in tables on your own during the quiz. Make sure you've submitted what you have. And we're going to go ahead and look at a graph. Submit, submit, submit. I'm moving on. I've got a lot of people submitted and a lot of people not submitted. Boop. Moving on. Get ready to draw. Okay, so now they gave us 3 tables, similar to the ones that we just did, a little bit of a change. And now you guys are going to draw them. I'm going to draw the first one. It says use a different color for each person. Draw a graph of all 3 people's journey because we only have 3 tables. So just like I can change my color down here, you guys have the ability to change your colors also. I like to put a little dot or a little squiggly line so I know which one's which color. So I'm going to go ahead and do Diego's, and you guys are going to do Lynn's and May's. So as I go, I like to cross off the points that I've already done so I don't backtrack. So I have 0 and 0, so that's my origin. Then I have 15 and 25. Then I have 30 and 50. And then I have 1 and I think 5 thirds or something like that. So it's like something over here. And then you're not just going to plot the points. You're also going to draw a line through it as best as you can. I'm not looking for perfection. You draw your line. So just looking at that, does that have a straight line? Does it go through the origin? It does. So it has a straight line. It goes through the origin. So I already know that this one is proportional. So now I want you guys to do the next 2 tables. Remember, 2 different colors on your screen and then submit. Same for the ones at home. Draw your graph and then click submit. 2 different colors. Okay, I still see some people that haven't started. Make sure you're plotting the points for 1 graph at a time so that you don't end up not knowing where all the points go. So far, so good. Make sure that you are drawing a line through it. OCL, I need to see your activity. Jasmine at home. If you could, no, you know what? Never mind. Keep going. I know what happened. dropping on here. I mean, it's not easy to draw a line, but for those of you who finished graphing all three, I want you to think about whether it is proportional or not proportional. I see some people have already marked it, but not everybody. Okay, I'll give you a couple more seconds and then we're going to look at it together. Oh man, some of those lines are getting crazy. But everybody remember to do different colors. Okay, so I'm going to make my second one whatever color that is. I think it's pink or red, I'm not sure. So this one is starting at 0, 0 also. Then I have 10 and 25, 20 and 50, and then 1 and 2.5-ish. And then I'm going to draw my line. Then I have my last one. I'm going to make it green. Let's finish with the bang because green's my favorite color. I have 10 and 0, right? 10 and 0. So 10 and 0 would be here. Then I have 25 and 25. So 25, come up to 25, 40 and 50. 40 and 50. And then 1 and 0. So for this one, it's making this weird line over here. So for my red line, does it make a straight line? Yes or no? Gentlemen, yes or no? Straight line for my red one. Yes? No? Is it crooked? It's straight, people. Does it go through 0, 0? Yes, thank you. Someone. So it's proportional. My last one, is it a straight line? Does that look like a straight line? Like I'm doing this right here and then up there. Is that straight? No. So it already crosses off one of my criteria. So I already know it's not proportional. Now if it had been a straight line, it's still not going through the origin. It's still not proportional. Okay? So make sure you get that. Even if it has one of the two things we're looking for, it is still not proportional. Make sure that you have submitted, and then we already did this part, so we're not even going to look at it. So we are going to go straight to your classwork. A couple things about your classwork today. At this point, we should know how to submit our classwork. What I'm still seeing people doing is not either watching the direction video or reading the directions. Like if you're not reading the directions and you're expecting to get it right, don't. I have a couple people from this very group of you that are at home who turned in this assignment, did not read the directions, so you did not complete it. It has been sent back to you. It says create a graph to represent each table by dragging and plotting the points. So if I'm asking you to drag and plot the points, you're plotting all the points, correct? So you're going to take the point and you're going to drag it to where it needs to go. You're not just going to do one point. You're going to do all 4 points on both graphs. There are 8 dots down here. Use them all. And in here, after I have plotted these points, so like 2, 9, and then I keep going. So just by looking at it, does it go through the origin? Does it go through 0, 0? It's such a quiet group, I can't handle it. Does it go through 0, 0? Does it go through 0, 0? Where does it say 0, 0? It does not. So is it proportional? No, it's not proportional. So you're writing in here, no, this graph is not proportional because it does not go through the origin. Not just no, because I will not mark it correct. Make sure you're following all of those directions, not just half of them.